Seeking reconciliation. Moving forward a decade after infidelity with my brother's girlfriend, now my wife. When I was around 25 years old, my younger brother Ezra, who was 19, went to a college in another state. After finishing my own studies at university, I moved back home to be near my family. Ezra's girlfriend, Melanie, who was also 19, stayed behind to attend a local college. Sometimes Melanie and I would spend time together. I didn't realize it at first, but this could cause problems. As time went on, Melanie and I became closer. We would go to the movies, grab something to eat, and even attend family dinners together. Ezra couldn't join us because he was away at college. But my dad would invite Melanie since she had been dating Ezra all throughout high school. They had plans to get married after finishing school, so she was considered part of the family. My dad had also remarried, so we were trying to build connections with his new wife and her children, one of whom was close in age to Melanie. Things started to get complicated when my dad's new wife began saying I looked better with Melanie than with anyone else. At that time, I had a stable job and was ready to settle down. At first, Melanie felt offended by these comments, but as we grew closer, she started making similar remarks. Meanwhile, when my brother Ezra came back home for the summer or some weekends, he and Melanie would still act like a couple, sleeping together and doing things together. But when Ezra left, Melanie would spend time with me instead. One night, things escalated when I got jealous seeing Melanie and Ezra getting close. This led to a physical encounter between Melanie and me. It was a moment that changed everything, although not in a good way. My dad and his wife didn't see eye to eye about our relationship. My dad was really angry with me and demanded that we stop seeing each other. Melanie was no longer invited to our family dinners, and my dad even contacted my mom to tell her about what was going on. His wife, however, had a different opinion about our relationship. I have another brother, Aaron, who suspected that something wasn't right. Things reached a critical point when Aaron pulled Ezra aside during one of his visits and told him what he had found out from who knows where. Aaron and I have never really gotten along, but that's a story for another time. What happened next completely changed the course of my life for the past decade. It's been just over 10 years since Ezra found out about what Melanie and I had done, and it tore our family apart. He confronted our parents and my dad's wife for their involvement and their silence, and then he just left. It took some time, maybe around 8 months, but eventually he left, and I haven't seen him since. During those 8 months, I wasn't a very good person. After Ezra embarrassed and mistreated Melanie for cheating on him, I took her in right away and we became an official couple. Our family didn't approve at first, but eventually they came around. Melanie got pregnant and I proposed to her. Both her parents and mine agreed that it was best for the baby if we got married, so they paid for everything. It was a simple wedding, but my family supported me and showed up. Meanwhile, Aaron kept lecturing our parents about their involvement in our relationship and for abandoning Ezra. I understand that he was hurting and needed them. I did too. I was about to become a new father and husband. I was also looking to buy my first home, start a new job, and plan a wedding. I didn't expect Ezra to just accept everything, but after all, they're our parents too. My parents were so focused on me, Melanie, and our child that we didn't even notice when Ezra moved to a nearby town. We used to see him around where he worked, but then he just disappeared. When I tried to reach out to him, I found out his number had been changed. Aaron wasn't much help either. He just criticized and warned us about Ezra's well-being. He didn't offer any kind words for me, Melanie, or our child. In reality, I lost 2 brothers. As our wedding day approached and invitations were sent out, we didn't hear back from Ezra or Aaron, which I expected. So I asked my mom to check with them. I would understand if they couldn't make it. But what we discovered was that they had vanished completely. Aaron's longtime girlfriend declined our wedding invitation and refused to tell us where my brothers had gone. One aunt, who often echoed Aaron's opinions and skipped our wedding, informed us that they were safe, but insisted that we needed to move on. And that was it. Sadly, I haven't seen them in 10 years. My parents were devastated and full of regret. It cast a dark shadow over our wedding and the birth of my child. We considered giving my son a middle name combining both my brothers' names, but we decided against it since they might never meet him, and it would only confuse him. However, watching my parents break down whenever family gatherings occurred took a toll on all of us. Anyone who knew where they were chose to remain silent. It's still a gray cloud hanging over our lives to this day. I thought we had moved on, especially when Melanie and I had another child. My parents seemed happy to be with me and my remaining brothers, and they saw that Melanie and I were committed to each other. A perfect match. However, my mom decided to share her regrets with me and Melanie personally. When she first learned about our relationship, she was strongly against it, but she changed her mind when Melanie became pregnant. Now she feels like she made a mistake and lost two sons. Her relationship with Melanie has suffered a lot because of this. On the other hand, my dad's family has been much more welcoming to Melanie. They see her as one of their own. My dad misses his sons, but he also loves his grandkids. He was okay with the situation until my mom decided to find Aaron and Ezra. She discovered that both of them are married, Aaron to his longtime girlfriend who moved away years ago, and Ezra to a woman whose identity is unknown to us. Both of my brothers have quite a few children, more than I do, in fact. My mom sought therapy and reached out to my brothers, managing to make contact with Ezra. Aaron, however, declined any attempt at reconciliation, so she's been in touch with Ezra for a year now, even taking my youngest brothers with her to spend Christmas with Ezra and his family. I saw pictures of his sons, daughters, and his wife. Initially, I thought to keep all of this from my dad, but my family tends to gossip a lot, so I ended up showing him what I found on my mom's Facebook before they could. My dad was overwhelmed, as if the old wound had been reopened. He felt like he missed out on so much and couldn't handle it. He spent a long time looking at the pictures and eventually called my mom, and they spoke for hours. It sounds like you're facing a lot of challenges with fractured relationships within your family, especially with your mom, Mel, and your dad feeling heartbroken. Meanwhile, Ezra and Aaron have moved on and built their own families, seemingly still close despite Aaron's strained relationship with your mom. Your other siblings are growing up, but you feel disconnected from them compared to your brothers closer in age. It's been years since you've had to confront the consequences of your actions, and now your wife is starting to feel insecure about your relationship and your feelings towards her and your kids. First and foremost, it's important to communicate openly and honestly with your wife. Assure her of your love and commitment to her and your children. Reassure her that you don't regret your marriage or your life with her. Make sure she knows that she's valued and loved. Next, consider seeking therapy or counseling, both individually and as a couple. Therapy can help you navigate your feelings of guilt, regret, and uncertainty, and it can provide you with tools to improve communication and strengthen your relationship with your wife. Additionally, make efforts to rebuild bridges with your mom and mend your relationship with her. It may take time and patience, but expressing your remorse for any pain you may have caused and demonstrating your commitment to repairing the relationship can be a good start. Take proactive steps to reconnect with your other siblings as well, despite the age gap. Find common interests or activities that you can enjoy together and make an effort to spend quality time with them. Remember that repairing fractured relationships takes time, effort, and patience. Be willing to listen, apologize when necessary, and show genuine care and compassion towards those you love. Story 2. My ex-husband, 55M. Left me, 53F. For our friend, 55F. And no one cares. My ex-husband and I were married for a long time, 22 years. We have a son who is 18 years old. 2 years ago, my ex-husband left me for my friend. They have been secretly seeing each other for 5 years before he left. They actually knew each other since they were in high school, so they've been friends for a long time. We all still live in the same town where they grew up, and both of their families are here too. They have a lot of people who support them. I grew up about 2 hours away from here and met my husband when we were in college. I got to know Tina, who is 55 years old, through my ex-husband. We've been part of the same group of friends for more than 20 years. My ex is really outgoing, popular, and always the center of attention at parties. Everyone knows him and likes him a lot. Tina has always been really nice, kind, and caring. She's always been well liked by everyone. My marriage was really hard. My ex-husband used to hurt me and my son physically. He would also say mean things to us and make us feel bad about ourselves. I knew I should have left him the first time he hurt my son, but he made me think that nobody would believe me because everyone liked him so much. People thought he was a great guy. He even said I wouldn't get to see my son anymore if I left him, and I believed him. I tried my best to protect my son and take the pain myself, but I couldn't always do it. About 4 years ago, Tina's husband got really sick with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. He passed away about 9 months later. Tina's 3 kids, who are 26, 24, and 21 years old, were really sad. The whole community was sad too because everyone loves Tina. They think she's the nicest person, and they felt she didn't deserve to lose her husband, who they called her soulmate. On my side, things have been really tough. I never told anyone about the abuse I was going through. I felt ashamed and embarrassed. I felt like I wasn't doing enough to protect my son. While I stayed home to take care of the family, my ex-husband had a successful construction business. From the outside, everything looked perfect, but I knew it wasn't. I went back to school to become a teacher so I could support myself when I finally decided to leave. My son started acting out at school, doing things like smoking weed and drinking. He was always angry, and I felt the same way, but I thought I could wait until the right time to leave my ex-husband. 3 years ago, Tina got diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer. It was a shock to everyone. After losing her husband, nobody could believe she was facing cancer too. The whole community came together to support her and her kids. People were constantly posting on Facebook, offering their strength and support in the weeks following the news. This is what happened. Kent came home one day and packed his bags. He spoke to me very unkindly and said something that hurt me deeply. He told me he had been in love with Tina for the past 5 years, not with me. He said he was going to be with her because he believed life was too short. This news left me feeling a mix of relief and devastation. Tina, you see, was not just any friend. She was actually sleeping with my husband while her own husband was very sick. It's really shocking. After this, everyone found out about Kent and Tina being together. Surprisingly, many of our so-called friends had known about it for a long time. They would go on trips and nights out, all including Tina, but they never told me anything. These friends seem to think Tina and Kent are the best people ever, and they treat them like heroes. It feels like they've forgotten about me completely. I feel like the bad guy in this story, even though I did nothing wrong. Nobody seems to care about how Tina and Kent betrayed me and Tina's husband. Instead, they're being celebrated by everyone in our small community. It's really unfair. Kent went to live with Tina in the house she shared with her husband, taking our son with him. Kent was okay with our son smoking pot because he wanted to be seen as the cool dad. He let our son skip school, get high, and stay out late, which made me worry because I wanted our son to stay away from drugs and focus on his education. But our son seemed to prefer Kent's lenient rules. Our son stopped coming home and wouldn't answer my calls or texts. He even told me that I deserved what happened to me, and then he blocked me on every platform. After finishing school, he only works part-time at a chicken wing place. My friends also disappeared on me. Kent, however, still contacts me regularly to insult me. I don't know why I haven't blocked him yet. Maybe because I'm worried about our son. All of this has made me feel like there's something wrong with me. I'm starting to believe that I'm the one causing all these problems. I feel like I should leave this place because I have nothing left here. I'm too embarrassed to even go to the grocery store because people who used to be my friends now just stare at me without saying a word. I just need to vent. It feels like I'm shouting into the void because nobody in real life seems to care. My dad passed away when I was 24. My mom lives far away in Denver, and my brother is in DC. We only see each other during holidays, and they check in on me from time to time to make sure I'm okay. I thought my life would improve after divorcing Kent. I thought it would be my fresh start, my chance at happiness. But it's turned out to be the opposite. It's even worse than before. How can that be? Don't I deserve to be happy? And before anyone suggests it, yes, I'm in therapy. Yes, I'm working out every day and feeling healthier than ever. Yes, I'm trying new hobbies. But I just can't shake off the hurt from being betrayed by someone I considered a good friend, and all those other people I thought were friends too. Nobody in this lousy community has shown me any kindness since everything came out. Not a single person. My entire adult life feels like a lie, and I'm really struggling with it. That's all. End of rant.